of Warcraft Classic. In this game, you get a group of 40 people together to kill bosses in a joint effort, and when the bosses die, they drop items that your characters can use. It's called raiding. Each boss can only be killed once a week, so once a week my guild and I get together to raid. An aspect of World of Warcraft Classic is something called world buffs. These are stat increases you can get for your character in order to make them do more damage, have more health, regenerate more mana, etc. And they are a real bitch to get. They occur all over the very large game world on set schedules and at very specific times. For example, one of the buffs is on a 7-ish hour cooldown and can only be given when one person turns in the head of a slain dragon, and this can only be done once per character. Coordinating world buffs is so intense and ridiculous that there are entire Discord servers that exist simply to let people know when they are going to happen. What this means is that in order to prepare for a raid, I have to spend a significant amount of time collecting these buffs for my character, and our raid leader, the guy in charge, requires them in order to get an invitation to the raid. Oh, and if you die, that's it, you lose them. On to what happened. My wife and I live in a major city and had ordered food delivery. Our building is small, only one other unit, and has a vestibule of the kind where if the door closes behind you, it locks. Typically, when we order delivery and the doorbell rings, I go downstairs to collect the food. But on the night in question, we were preparing for a particularly difficult boss encounter. They last 5 to 7 minutes. If you don't do the mechanics properly, you will die and lose your buffs, and potentially cause all 39 other players to die too. So, right as we start the encounter, the doorbell rings and she goes downstairs to get the food. As she was leaving, I told her to not forget her keys, but she did. So after collecting the food, she was stuck in the vestibule with no way back into the apartment. Here's where I might be the asshole. This happens occasionally, hence why I told her not to forget her keys. When it does, my wife rings the doorbell in order to let me know she's stuck. On this occasion, when the doorbell rang, I ignored it until the boss encounter was over. Perhaps 5 minutes or so. She was really upset and told me I was a huge asshole and that I was choosing video games over her. But she also knows that there's a huge time investment leading up to that 5-minute encounter. It's not like she was unsafe. The front door was locked and it wasn't cold in there. She just had to wait 5 minutes, and then I went and got her. So Reddit, am I the asshole? Chat, can I be real? Yeah, this is her fault. I'm gonna put up the am I the asshole, but this is her fault. This is deranged. She set it up to test him. He even reminded her. Okay, I don't know if I'd be that paranoid, but I do think this is such a nothing burger. First of all, she should have brought her keys. Second of all, she wasn't locked outside. She was locked in like the front part of their house. Third, it's 5 fucking minutes. It's 5 minutes. Who cares? It's 5 minutes. This isn't the live streamer that locked his girlfriend outside in the Russian winter for an hour. Yeah, she even had food. She did have food. This is so, yeah, if it was an hour, that'd be deranged. I'm sure you could find like a short amount of time to go rush and let your wife back in. But it's 5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. This looks like to be a tremendously controversial topic. I want to address some of the common questions. Why did you spend so much time talking about the game and not your wife? This is not a signal that I don't love my wife. It's called context! Or that I think the game is more important than her. I believed and still believe that the context of the situation is important here. If you aren't going to read through that explanation and snap judge me, you can fuck right off. Have you ever thought about this before? No, not once. Did you wait 5 minutes or wasted hours for 40 people? Yeah, exactly. How much time do you spend playing the game outside of raids? Raids are 2 to 3 hours once a week, and I'd probably play another 5 or so hours during the week to prepare materials, get buffs I talked about, etc. All this usually happens when she is doing her own hobby, where she's unsafe/uncomfortable. Not in the least, the vestibule is climate controlled! We know the other couple who live here. The front door was locked from the outside. She could have gone outside if she needed to, and this is how she used the doorbell, and she doesn't get claustrophobic or anxious. Why couldn't you just hit the buzzer to let her back in? Our building doesn't have a buzzer. This is why she had to go downstairs in the first place. I would have had to go down both flights of stairs to get her, then back up, which would have 100% caused me to die and maybe others. How is he the asshole? This is so dumb. This particular episode might be the straw that broke the camel's back. You're the asshole. Might have a point. These bitches are crazy. As I'm a former WoW widow? Chat, is this real? I didn't invent the phrase. It took a while to get my husband to realize that our family can't live our life around a video game. Chat, is this real? Am I insane? I don't think it's that I don't think it's that like serious. It's 5 minutes. It's 5 fucking minutes. And he told her to take her is. It's not about prioritizing one or the other, okay? It's about he committed to 40 other people to do this thing. She knew she shouldn't go out there without her keys. One person here made a mistake and is expecting the other person to give up his multi-hour time investment and let down, 39 other people because she was a dumbass. You have 5 minutes in a warm room. If this was like, so story time. Me and my wife live in Detroit. We got a food delivery and she got locked outside the house in the middle of winter in Detroit at night. I wanted to complete my WoW raid. Am I the asshole for not letting her back in? I would at least see the argument. I would still think she's a fucking dumbass, but at least it'd be like, those WoW buffs are 2-hour passives and they aren't going anywhere. Somnus, you have either reading or listening comprehension problems because they had already started the boss battle. They had already started. It's not, God, I so badly want to know more about the WoW widows. Because of the WoW widow mention, I would like to add that my father wasn't present in my life because he was always playing World of Warcraft. Oh my God. This still hurts me to this day. Every memory I have of him is him in that damn computer playing this godforsaken game. And if you're half as dedicated to WoW player as he was, then your wife probably feels neglected. And this one incident was what pinched her last nerve. Oh my God. This is why your father didn't love you, because you're melodramatic and pathetic. Oh my God. My dad played World of Warcraft all day. He didn't play catch with me. Bro, get over it. Get over it. Oh my God. Why don't you play alongside him? Why don't you play World of Warcraft as well? And then you'd be a very loved child who would have many memories of playing video games with your parent. I used to fucking sit on the couch and watch my dad play Battlefield 3, I think it was. It's like, it's still hanging out. It's still, like, I'm still, like, I was fine just sitting there chatting or reading a book or whatever, you know. It's like it does, I don't know, maybe it's like an extrovert thing where you have to feel like you're being like consistently mentally engaged with, but it's like, what is wrong with people when they're like, somebody has a hobby and they're not making it about me. Are you okay? But to really answer the question here, yes, you're the asshole. Sure, you spend excessive amount of time world buffing for content that doesn't even require world buffs to complete, but you also spend X amount of time building a relationship with your wife, which you then set aside for video game. Do better, my dude, or someone else will. You know what, maybe somebody else should. Maybe this woman needs to go find somebody equally normie who will only live to cater to her. Maybe that's what she needs. Yeah, hand this dude a motherfucking fedora. You know she's not going for your ass, right? Lamb Chop Prime. How much Reddit karma do you have? 1,000 comment karma, 84 post karma. I don't know if that's a lot or not, but you've been on here since 2013, so you know she's not going for your ass because you're gonna spend fucking 5 minutes of your time that you're supposed to be listening to her, scrolling through Reddit, looking for shit to updo. Which, you know, just saying, but that's not what a doting husband would do. A doting husband would literally never do anything that doesn't involve his wife. Jesus Christ. My boyfriend of 17 years has been raiding since the game came out. Okay, you know a lot about World of Warcraft because your boyfriend plays the fucking game. You dumbass. Meek Little Mouse thinking, what the fuck is Reddit? It's something. He gets world buffs sometimes, but since you lose them when you die, and a wipe means no buffs anyways, and vanilla bosses are taken down pretty easy, seems insane that the raid leader requires full world buffs for an invite. My boyfriend has had to unlock the door for me in similar situations. This person is just lying. I just wait a couple seconds and suddenly there are sprinting steps towards the door. Click sprinting steps running back. Lol, real life comes first. I was trying to explain this to my wife, then I realized I wouldn't leave her standing out there for 5 minutes, like ever, especially if food is involved. These people have never, ever, like, left dinner on the table for 5 minutes so they could go and do something real quick. Fuck off. Do you think there's any like videos of WoW widows venting their trauma? Do you think there's a support group for WoW widows? This is crazy. This is delusional. You're the asshole, but not a big one. Okay, I agree with this. You know what? I can kind of agree with this. You know, it's like from like a normie perspective, it's like, okay, well, you know, you're kind of the asshole for leaving her locked out for 5 minutes, but does it like really matter? Look, that game too, and I understand that it doesn't always align with real life, but I feel this is going deeper than just this one time. As much as we all like to think games aren't temporary, they mostly really are. And sure, games help to make friends all over the world, but it should never be more important than real people in your real life. Just like you said, you told her to take the keys with her because it's something that happens more often. That's not something you want to bring into and keep into your relationship. It's a breeding ground for bad memories. Believe me, you're really not going to miss raiding all that much, but if your partner is unhappy and you continue to ignore your partner might leave. It sounds like you just don't really care about video games. I think you're projecting. I think you just don't really care about video games. And that's really gonna make a lasting impact. You've got somebody to tackle this life with together, and that's really precious. I'm not saying gaming isn't fun or an enjoyable, possibly lasting experience, but you always got to keep in mind who and what is really important in your life. Yeah, this guy's kind of a fig gamer. Like, I know this is like a weird time to gatekeep, but it's like 5 minutes, bro. It's like 5 minutes. Who cares? You're the asshole, regardless of context. Your wife, a living, breathing person that you love, is more important than a video game. It's 5 minutes. These people are not the assholes. Oh my god. If I were the wife, I would have laughed my ass off at myself and eaten my fast food. Or eaten my food. I know non-gamers won't get it, but dude, as a woman who does an RPG, I still get it. If it was 15 minutes or 20, then yeah, I'd probably change my tune, but 5 minutes? No way. Yeah, it's fucking 5 minutes. You. You must be at her beck and call at all times. Only she matters. You are not allowed to have any hobbies. Not the asshole. She doesn't understand that in MMOs you can't just hit pause like you can with single-player games. Boss mechanics are pretty insane, but you're right that it's all about doing the right thing for 5 to 7 minutes. I think that's a reasonable wait for her. Now, if you expected her to wait the entire raid multiple hours, you'd be the asshole. Edit, I should point out that this wouldn't impact just him. There are 39 other people all doing hours worth of prep to be available for this raid. Hopping off during a boss encounter could have erased all of their prep. That's 39 multiple hours versus 5 minutes. True! This is the best comment, chat. This is the best comment. Yeah, not the asshole. It was only 5 minutes. Has this happened before? She's forgotten her keys before, which is why I had to remind her. But this specific scenario where I was raiding hasn't happened before. Note that the situation can only occur during a specific 2-hour period once a week. Oh my god. You know what? OP, she should divorce you. You left her outside in the cold, freezing, held at gunpoint for 5 minutes. You didn't even call 911. Disgusting. What did you guys vote? 54% of you guys said no. He is not the asshole. In my opinion, it should be more.
Everybody, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to Low Effort Clips. That's right, Low Effort Clips, right here on YouTube.com. Yeah, and hit the notification bell. Yeah.